What's happening? I got the flash on. All right, what's happening, rockers? Today I'm going to try to finish up with this Fisher DAC-201 CD Changer I'm rebuilding for a buddy of mine. As you can tell, it is physically identical to the DAC-205, which, as you can tell over here, it's a fully optioned out model, index features, all that stuff. The only difference is the 201 doesn't have the headphone switch, which is virtually pretty much useless anymore. No one really uses it. And the 201, however, the trade-off is that 201 has the remote control ribbon option, whereas a DAC 205 does not. Now, that ribbon cable looks like this, is completely useless unless you are running a Fisher receiver or integrated amp of that era. Now, obviously, I'm running a Sansui from the 1970s, so I don't need that ribbon cable feature anyway. Go back to the stand here. So, it's a very common issue with these old Fisher CD changers. Basically, the only issue, that and that plastic gear for the laser tracking, but that's not a very hard fix most of the time either. But however, I do wish that they made replacements for them. If I can get like a dimension or like a copier, I could probably replicate them. That way to sell them on eBay. Not for much, just $5 a pop just for my troubles. So what I'm gonna start by doing, as you can see, that's the old belt right here. It's completely gone. Gone as in nothing left of it. Gone as in useless. Gone as in totally dicking me over right now because it's stuck on a pulley, and all I want to do is replace the belts. Now, I use O-rings because they're a lot stronger. You can't use these if you're for something with speed control, but with this, all these belts are forwards. They lift your elevator up and down and move your trays in and out. So speed control and accuracy is in fact irrelevant. Now, what I'm going to do is stick this in here like so and rotate it and try and peel this. Yeah, it's completely gone. Okay. Well, being careful doesn't matter in this instance. So we're just going to run this through it and get as much out of here as we can because this is bad. This is actually probably the worst one I've seen. Usually you get some pieces out in chunks, which makes your job a lot easier. I just opened the door by accident. Oh well. Yeah, I'm pushing one of the trays out. Not intentionally, but still, that's what's being done. I'll run this right through there like so. Get as much out as you can. Like I said, this thing's nasty. And you don't want to get it on your hand. I already did a little bit. You don't want to get it on your hands or on your furniture or your clothing because it's not going to come off very easily, if at all. You get some of it, but not most of it. Alright, so now that I got all the heavy stuff off, I don't know what happened. That thing wasn't always that bent up. I wonder if somebody didn't use it without me knowing about it and use it in the wrong way. Wouldn't at all surprise me in the least, to be honest with you. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll this up like so, wrap it around this, and bam. Then what I'm going to do, it evaporates, it's 91%. So if you get it on your circuit board, I actually rather get it on the circuit board than on my cloth down here. So I didn't drip any out anyway. So basically you wet this down. I highly recommend 91%. Seems to do the better job, honestly. And you just do this. And it's not going to be one swipe either. You're going to do this several times. And you're probably going to get some on your hands, but like I said, it's not exactly the end of the world. Actually, it's actually going pretty good. As you can tell, I got it on my fingers already, which, whatever. Not the end of the world. Now you can cheat with the motor when you just turn it on and let it run. such a small surface area, though, you're better off just doing it by hand. But if you want to, you can literally run that and have the motor spin and just hold that like that to get it off. I got some on the circuit board that time. It's already evaporating. I can see it evaporating right now. You might say, what happens if you don't feel like going through this trouble? What if you just decide to skip this step and put the belt right on? Well, it's going to tell you exactly what's going to happen because I've tried it. I've actually even done it half-assed and tried, you know, just going over it once and not getting it almost perfect. What happens is it's going to stick to your new belt and it's going to act as kind of like a glue, like an adhesive, and it's just going to stick to it. It's not going to, and then if it gets to this where it don't have a good grip, it's also, in a way, you know, it doesn't make sense to be an adhesive and a lubricant, but it'll also make it slippery in a sense too. So this is to sit there and spin, and the belt ain't going to move nowhere because it's slippery on this because it doesn't have a grip, but it's really tough on this because it has too much grip, if that makes any sense. Just in other words, long story short, it ain't going to work. Or not much shows up. I'd say that's pretty good. You just got a little dab right there. There's a little bit left in here. We'll try to get it, but again, that's almost all of it. I'd say that's pretty damn good. Seems like we're doing pretty good. We're pretty far, huh? Wrong. There's a whole piece of it. If you can see where there's there it is. That's a piece of the belt itself. That's just going to go right here, and off it goes. All right. Hopefully it'll come off the brass fitting easier than it did the plastic. Although I'm not going to, yeah, look at that. It's like all stringy. Zoom in a little bit. Look at that. That's really fighting me. Damn it. Oh well. Gotta wipe that NES off quick. I got some on the NES by accident because I didn't realize it was on my freaking hands. Like I said, it is rather messy, so I said just use some caution when if you're doing one of these. I have a light bulb dying too, so if you see flashing back there, one of my lights are having a seizure. It's kind of annoying, but I just kind of deal with it for now until I get time to replace it. When I replace one, I replace them all. It's weird like that. Slowly but surely. Like I said, it's a somewhat of a long drawn out process. And once you get past this, you still got that gear to worry about. Get most of it. Yeah, it looks like you got most of it. Alright, so I'm just gonna One more time for good luck. Let's put some pressure on here and rotate it by hand the best I can and see. Hopefully we'll get it all, if not most of it, out. So yeah, as you can see, we got it pretty good. So I have no problem with I'm gonna try one more. You guys are getting bored. I won't hold it against you if you skip through a little bit. I just don't feel like having 20 edits to the video today. I said there's not many videos on how to restore, or not restore, but service these units. And honestly, I've heard many CD players in my time. Now granted, I've never heard any like the really ridiculous ones with you know, the fiber optic outputs that you need a DAC to run and shit like that. Like the CD transports I know are probably superior. But like as far as like a standard CD player goes, I recommend these to anybody. Once you get them going, they're runners. They don't really stop. So yeah, I have no problem recommending a Fisher to anybody. The Fisher gets a lot of hate, and I don't really understand that. They're not the best by any means, like especially like the speakers and whatnot, but they made some good sounding receivers and some decent equipment. The EQs are nice with the spectrum analyzers. The cassette decks are kind of leave a lot to be desired, but the one I have is very sentimental. It was my first one ever that we grew up with, so that's my reasoning for that. So I'll put this belt on. Hopefully it's not too big, and it is. Hang on. While I grab one that's not too big. You don't have to be afraid to put one that's too strong on it. These motors pull pretty good. So one like that and over. And as you can see, it's ready to pull drawers in and out. Move it back a little bit so you can see what's going on here. Zoom back out to 1x. You can see the loading tray is working. Get it flush. All right, so that's good. And go back over here again. Let me tilt you down a little more. And we're gonna get to the elevator. Now the elevator, I already took some of it apart already, which it's not rocket science. I'm sure you guys can figure most of that out. I'll show up putting it back together, so that'll give you an idea of where it all came from. Anyway, tilt that up out of the way like so. And we are gonna do the same thing, but the parts we're working on this time, you get kind of a better vantage point from over here. So here's your motor and here's your pulley. As you can see, the purpose of this one is to move the elevator mechanism up and down. I don't know if you can see it. If you look over here on this side, where the belt we just replaced was, you can see the whole assembly lifting up and down. So, that being said, that's our next stop. I try not to be in the way too much. I want you to be able to see. But at the same time, I don't really know what I can do to not be blocking it at the same time. There you go, that's probably good, yeah. All right. Just getting the heavy crap out, but again, it's not gonna cooperate much. This thing was melted pretty good. I don't know what the hell they made these crap junk belts out of, but exactly what they are. Crap, junk, garbage, trash, whatever the hell you want to call them. Usually belts just warp and, you know, lose their consistency or lose their, you know, whatever the hell you want to call it. Now these ones here turn to gummy tar. And it sucks. Similar to the old Ampex 8-track cartridges with the pinch rollers. I want to think made out of the same material. Sure, they were good back in the day, but now they're garbage. Especially if there's actually some, I'm going to think of it, that realistic cassette deck I have. has the same problem, which really sucks because there's no information available that I can find on what kind of belt it takes. So I'm kind of stuck buying, I think what I'm going to end up doing with that is buying a miscellaneous pack of belts. It's probably not going to be cheap, and I'm going to have to hope I have the right ones that I can make it work. That's a story for another day. I don't have time to mess with that right now or anytime soon, actually. So that one's going to sit on my project bench for a little bit yet. Shit. Oh, that was the gear. At least I found it. That's the other thing we're going to have to look at after I'm done with these belts. And there's nothing fun about this at all. This completely sucks. See how much crap we're still getting out of there? You can think of an easier way of doing this. Be my guest. Let me know, because this is how I've been doing it for years. It sucks, and this is probably the worst one I've ever had to do. I mean, usually they're bad, but they're not this bad. This is freaking god awful. Let's back over. We'll rotate it the opposite. You can't keep rotating the same direction because you're gonna bottom the elevator out or top the elevator out eventually. So. Still getting a lot off. Yeah, we're still getting crap out of there. This is bad. Yeah, usually it's not bad. I mean, it always sucks, but it's usually not this freaking terrible. This is bad. Pressure on it. That needle in the groove and turn it like that. Still getting it out of there. Come on. So we gotta be close. I refuse to believe that we're not close. Maybe I'm just in denial. There we go. That's pretty decent. That's pretty acceptable. Still stand by what I say when overall CDs are the ultimate format. Unless you get a really shitty done master, they always sound good. I also apologize to some of you guys too, because I haven't been as active lately as I usually have been over the past few months. Again, that goes back to me being focused, not really focused more, but taking advantage of the warm weather we've been having in PA and getting ahead on some of my HVAC work that I've been slacking on. The good news is the copper or the brass drive pulleys for the motors usually clean up a lot easier. So we're through the thickest of it, thank God. I don't know how much more of this crap I can handle. It's starting to get old. But like I said, for your prize at the end is a very, very good sounding CD changer. You can get these on eBay. I think I paid $20 for this, including shipping. Just make sure you read the description. Make sure they say 9 times out of 10 will say powers up. When you hit buttons, it just makes noises. That's going to be your belts every time. Every time. 100%. When they say they don't power on at all, or the system moves but doesn't read discs, that's up to you, but 50%, there's like a 90% chance it's going to be this gear right here. You see it has a crack down the middle, and when it goes onto the shaft, which I'll show you, it spreads it out a little bit and it gets stuck, the laser. That's what moves your laser tray. It's your drive motor gear. I apologize if I'm breathing heavy. My nose is congested at the moment. I know they say slow and steady wins a race, but man, there's a limit. Yeah, I have never had one this bad before. So in a way, it's a bad one to show, but it's also a good one to show because you kind of gives you an idea what you could potentially be up against. Sometimes you get lucky and the deterioration in tar just started, and you can just peel most of it off and maybe just wipe it up a little bit. Sometimes they're just real weak and they just lost their grip. Those are the best ones. You just pull it right off and put the new ones on. But usually you have to do a little bit of cleaning. Good way to get a very good sounding CD player for next to nothing. If you don't mind putting in a little TLC work. Like I said, there were no videos on this, so I pretty much had to figure this out myself, which I know this looks really simple, and you're like, hey, anybody and their mom can figure this out by themselves, but I've been doing these things since I was a kid, so that's how long ago some of them started to fail. First one I did was like back in 2004 when I was 14. Yeah, I had to figure that out on my own. I remember used to buying miscellaneous bags of belts until I found ones that worked too. I just use these freaking O-rings. It works so much better. I gotta throw some of these away. My pile's getting big. Is that good yet? We're getting there. I'm gonna give it one more good round and we'll call it done. We're still getting a lot out of there, though. All in all, I'm pretty confident that we got it. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty good. All right, so we'll see if that belt's gonna fit in. Hopefully it will. and we'll go from there. If not, I'll get a smaller belt. These can be a pain in the ass to clip on if they're too small, because sometimes you don't have a lot of room. But as you can see, this belt's too small. It's not gonna. It might. I still don't like how loose it is. So I'm gonna try to go a little bit smaller, honestly. Put that right on, pull it over, and bam. As for this, now we're going to get into the gear. I try to help make this as easy as possible for you guys to see, but just the angle it's in might be rather difficult. All right, so your skate system is right here. That's for your laser movement, as you can tell. The piece that always breaks, or not breaks really technically, but cracks. I know as you can see it in high resolution enough to see it, but trust me, it is. Yeah, right there, it looks like the 3 o'clock position. So what I do with these, I slip them on upside down. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's the only option you got. Make sure it moves like so. Make sure this moves without hitting a snag, which it kind of is right now. Pull it up a little bit. So definitely make sure it's making contact. I wish I could find a way to remanufacture these. Anyway, I'm going to put this back together because that's about as good as that's going to get, I believe. Get back to 1X. This goes in here like so. We'll move the tray up. This piece, all this does is you have to get it in the track here. Have it up too high and I gotta go back down. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty good what I'm doing here. Lower the elevator until you get this piece to rip in where it needs to go. Still too high. Try that. There we go. That'll work. That just sits down there like so. Actually, I think I did forget something though. Yeah, I did. Before you put this back in, you have to there's a little gold screw too. The one that goes on here is the one with the gold washer around it. The other gold ones go here and here. This is the only one that location really makes a rat's ass of a difference. So there you go. Hopefully I'm showing you guys adequately enough. Like I said, you don't gotta go crazy with tightening it either. Just make sure it's in there. That's all. Make sure it can easily move, which it does. Oh, and also, if it gets dropped during shipping, sometimes the mounts on the elevator break off, and you gotta line it up perfectly and just dump epoxy down there to seal it back in. That's the only way you can fix it. I've only ever had that happen twice though, and both times it was a complete nightmare to fix. In fact, the DAC-196 model I have in my bedroom was like that. That was one of the ones like that. So the only thing I might have to mess with a little bit now is the okay, that's it for getting that back together. The only thing left to do is put the case back on, but that's, I'm not even going to bore you guys with that. Plug this in. Just going to reach. Probably not. Damn it. Give me a second. be a little bit overkill, but that's okay. It'll work for now. You can see it went home, the elevator. All right. Are we stuck? I have to get some more of the grease out of there, but this gives you the idea. Now I'll go back in. Elevator go back down. Yeah, I gotta clean that up a little bit better. That's what your problem is. Anyway, let's try to play some. It don't really matter what I grab either because we're literally just gonna look at it. The CD's playing, or reading at least. See if it reads the disc. Taking a little longer than it should. Oh, you bastard, you. If it does that, all you do is push it back in, get it up to where it needs to be. So yeah, that is your problem with this 100%. That thing needs to be lubed up a little bit better. I bet it'll come up to, should come up to 5, no problem. Which it will, see? The only thing I'm not seeing here is this. Push that in and see if it'll play disc 5. It's going to be a pain in the ass, ain't it? There we go. There we go. So we got it. We have a success. You have to tweak it a little bit. I'm not going to bore you with all that. But as you can see, she's working. Excellent. That being said, like, the gear just needs to be fixed up just a tad bit more. Like I said, it's a shame they don't make brand new ones for it. But like I said, I'll have to just clean up this elevator a little bit more. And then tweak that gear a little bit. This thing's going to be ready to rock and roll then. So if you guys actually made it through this 34.5-minute long video, thank you. I appreciate it. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, just drop them in my comments box. Enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day weekend, guys, and rock on. I'll catch you the next time. And again, I apologize I haven't been doing as many videos on this kind of stuff, but like I said, it's warm outside. I can only do HVAC work like 4 months out of the year, you know, so it's going to be slow for a little bit. But just bear with me. Once the cooler weather rolls back around, I'll be down here all the time. Till then, peace out.